Nose.
Ooh. What's up, YouTube? And what am I doing? Right? Because there's my bike. And this is speaker. And then there's another bike in pieces. And another bike in pieces. And what's going on here? Well, if you guys can recognize it from my other videos, this is Courtney's bike. And what are we doing? Well, kicking stuff. We added some bar ends, Yoshimura's. And then she dropped my bike once. And she wanted frame sliders for hers. So we started putting those on. And somehow, I over-torqued the bolt. Somehow. Not possible. And I broke it. So I broke the nut, actually. Let's see if I can get a shot of it. So here's a standard nut that I'm working with. It's a 10 millimeter, I don't know what pitch. Seems good enough. This is what I have left, and if you can't see it, I'm going to take a picture of my phone. But there's no thread left. There's like nothing left. Somehow it ripped the threads out, and the threads are here somewhere, just chilling. But I double checked the specs in the books and everything, and I had it right. Nope, I ripped the Yoshimura installation instructions. But I had it right. Something happened. Maybe bolt, I don't know, or nut, I don't know. So I got some new ones. We're gonna get those on. Turn some music on, because that's what the speaker is for. Wherever I put it. We'll put my phone away so I don't pick it up. I don't know, somewhere over here. It's just hanging off of this. I don't need this today, so. There we go. Not too loud. So talk over it. So I'm gonna leave the camera on for a little bit. Gonna get some bolts in a bit, some nuts. Maybe we should do that now. Huh. So that looks like the bolt I need off of this 250, but we'll see what's going on. So good news. Found a bolt. I don't know how far away I have to put this for the GoPro. But it was an engine bolt for this bike that I'm going to strip apart, which is a 89 VTR. And it's going to work perfectly down in there. Let's see where these are, down in here, where I snapped off a nut. So let's get that in there. So there we are, YouTube. These 3 bolts, well, and then the same 2 and a nut on the other side. All you need. So here we are. Engine's back on, tank's back on. I gotta hook up the gas lines, the breather lines. I think these are just emission lines, which I was pretty sure that this was for California only when I read something in the book, but maybe it's a California bike originally. Maybe it's maybe they just made them because New York State's pretty close to Californian emission standards. But we'll hook this thing up. Probably should take it off the stands quick, test fire it, make sure she's all back together the right way. Let the oil cycle through a bit because we just did an oil change on it. Then put it back together, get the frame sliders drilled, some holes in it. Which makes me nervous as hell. And get some, what else do I need to do? Just put the fairings back on, right? I think so. I gotta double check, make sure there's anything else I was supposed to do. I think it's just that. I think we had everything done except for the frame sliders. Which means putting everything else back together. Clean off as much as I can as I'm going. Oh man, greasy. Take that off and readjust. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so following the Yoshimura instructions, let me turn this down a bit. I've drilled a pilot hole in the side fairing to match up where that goes, and then now I have to, it looks like, use a rotary tool, which I got a cordless Dremel here since I don't have power in my garage. I know. noob. And there's a line in the fairing that looks like it's just a teeny bit bigger than this. Well, you can't see it because of the shadow, but trust me, it's about just a teeny bit bigger than this. So this is going to slide behind it. When these are the sliders, these go on, so I have to carefully, very carefully transcribe this hole. And on the opposite side of it, I've added some tape just so that in case the plastic starts to chip, or I mean the paint starts to peel or something, it'll probably help prevent some of that. So I'm going to try to do this as carefully as possible. Bear with me. Need some more light for this too, just in case. Make this as accurate as possible. Where's my light? I don't know if it's going to bounce too much. We'll see. Doesn't look too bad. Sand it out a little bit. Let's make sure the slider's gonna fit in there first before we go anywhere. Oh yeah, it's gonna fit nicely. It's got a little bit of wiggle room. You can go get a piece of sandpaper or a sanding part for the Dremel. Kind of soften that up because it's a little rough. I mean, it's never gonna be seen again once these things go on, but still. And we'll see if it fits. So the first one went really well. I'm working on the second one now. Let's see how we can do this. That looks much nicer, even better than the last one. I like it. I need more light in this garage. Okay, that's this side. Got the screw? I got the screw. Okay, let's see. See how this thing lines up. Let's make sure I did this right. Okay. Perfect. Now we just got to bolt on everything else. Get get this bike back together, get it back to its owner. Should be so happy. Maybe I'll drop it a few times for, just make sure the frame sliders work. If not, I'll probably tell her I dropped it a few times. Yeah, I laid it down a couple times on the road to make sure the frame sliders work. See how this, oh yeah, look at that tape, held that together nicely, little ridge there, not bad though. Look at that, just kept the paint from flaking there. Okay, let's make sure to mess this thing up. Okay, a couple more fairings on here, put the seats on. I do the seat first, right? So if I do the other fairing first, I won't be able to get to these. So we're good to go. This bike is done. This bike is all back together. She's looking good. She runs well. She's got a tune-up. Well, by tune-up I mean oil change, a frame slider kit, new bar ends, and probably more bolts that were in it now than were in before because we found a lot of really loose bolts. So the new frame sliders, bar ends, both saying Yoshimura to match the beautiful Yoshimura, I want to say R77 exhaust. It looks like this might be corroding a bit. Oh, that stinks. And then new oil. It's at the right level. Bike's tipped so you can't see it. Frame slider. Just make sure everything's. This is the KTM brake lock, so the bike won't move at all, even if it's in neutral. So it locks the front brake up basically, which is nice to have for when you're working on things. This thing was like 10 bucks off Amazon. So we're done. We are done for the day. I'm gonna text her, see if she wants it tonight. If not, bring it back to her another day, but we'll check it out. Okay guys, until the next one, this is my first garage video, really. Damn dog in the background. And I'll keep you guys updates. I gotta figure out a better way, I think, to do this than with the GoPro, but let me know what you guys think. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. If not, you know, the 8 of you that are my subscribers, you can unsubscribe too, you know, whichever. I'll still keep making videos. Later.